Long ago, in the heart of ancient Babylon, there lived a man named Daniel. He was not Babylonian by birth. He was a Jew, taken from Jerusalem as a teenager when King Nebuchadnezzar conquered his land. Alongside other young men from noble families, Daniel was brought into exile, chosen for his intelligence, strength, and potential. The Babylonians wanted the best of the captives to serve in the king's palace. But Daniel was not like the others. Even in a strange land, surrounded by idols and foreign customs, Daniel remained faithful to his God. He prayed 3 times a day. He refused to eat food offered to idols. He honored the commandments he had learned as a child back in Jerusalem. Because of this, God gave Daniel great wisdom. Years passed, and Daniel served in the courts of kings, first Nebuchadnezzar, then Belshazzar, and now a new ruler sat on the throne, Darius the Mede, the man who conquered Babylon and ruled over a mighty empire. Darius was impressed by Daniel. Even though Daniel was now an old man, his wisdom had not faded. His counsel was sharp. His character was pure. He was trustworthy, unlike the greedy governors and officials that filled the palace. Soon Darius planned to promote Daniel to the highest position in the kingdom, above all the satraps and governors. Daniel would answer only to the king himself, but that kind of power made enemies. The other officials were furious. They burned with jealousy. How could an old foreigner, a Jewish exile, be chosen over them? So they plotted. They searched for a way to bring Daniel down. They examined his work, hoping to find a mistake or a secret weakness, but there was nothing. Daniel was faithful in everything, honest, upright, devoted. Then one man had an idea. The only way we'll trap him, he whispered, is if it has something to do with his God. The others nodded. They knew Daniel's habits. They had seen him pray every day, kneeling toward Jerusalem, his windows open to the east. They knew he would never stop worshipping his God, not for anything, not even a king. So they crafted a wicked plan. They approached King Darius with flattering words. "O King Darius, live forever," they said. "You are the greatest ruler on earth. All your officials agree. You should make a royal decree. For the next 30 days, no one may pray to any god or man except to you, O king. If anyone disobeys, they will be thrown into the den of lions." Darius was flattered. He didn't suspect a thing. He signed the law, and according to the customs of the Medes and Persians, once a king signed a law, not even he could undo it. The trap was set, and Daniel, he heard about the law that very day. He knew what it meant. He knew what the punishment was. He knew what his enemies had done, but nothing changed. Daniel went home, opened his window toward Jerusalem, knelt down and prayed, just as he always had. He didn't hide. He didn't shout or protest. He simply prayed. His enemies were watching. They rushed to the king and said, "O king, didn't you sign a law that anyone who prays to any god or man besides you will be thrown into the lion's den?" "Yes," the king answered, "the law stands." "Then know this," they said, "Daniel, that Hebrew exile, pays no attention to you. He prays to his God 3 times a day." The king froze. He realized their trap. He loved Daniel. He had trusted him. He never meant to harm him. All day Darius tried to find a way to save Daniel, but the law could not be changed. At sunset, the officials returned. "The law is the law," they said. "Daniel must be punished." And so the king had no choice. Daniel was taken, surrounded by guards, and led to the lion's den, a deep pit carved from stone, filled with starving beasts below. Before Daniel was thrown in, King Darius leaned close and whispered, "May your God, whom you serve continually, rescue you." Then a heavy stone was rolled over the entrance, and Daniel disappeared into the darkness. The stone was sealed, the sky darkened, and the lions roared. Daniel sat in silence inside the den. The air was thick, damp, and full of danger. He could hear the low growl of beasts pacing in the shadows. Their eyes glowed in the dark like burning coals. Their bodies moved silently, circling him, smelling him. But Daniel was not afraid. He knelt once more and prayed. Not a single lion touched him. In that cold, deadly place, God sent his angel. The mighty messenger stood like a wall of light between Daniel and the beasts. The lions, ferocious, hungry, wild, bowed low and lay down as if tamed. Their growls faded into stillness. That entire night, while the palace above was restless with fear, Daniel rested in peace. No scratch touched his skin. No claw tore his robe. Meanwhile, King Darius could not sleep. He returned to his palace, but no music was played for him. No food was brought. No comfort could calm him. All night, he tossed and turned, his mind tortured with worry and guilt. At first light, just as the sun stretched its golden arms across Babylon's towers, the king rose. He ran to the lion's den. He shouted, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve continually, been able to rescue you from the lions?" There was a pause. Then, from the depth of the stone pit, came a calm, strong voice. "O king, live forever. My God sent his angel. He shut the mouths of the lions. They have not hurt me, because I was found innocent in his sight. Nor have I done any wrong before you, O king." Darius gasped. He commanded that the stone be rolled away. Daniel was lifted out of the den. Not a single wound was found on him. His robe was untouched. His face was calm, his hands folded in peace. The crowd that gathered stared in awe. They had never seen such a thing. A man survive a night among lions. Only God could have done that. But the story did not end there. Darius turned to the men who had plotted against Daniel, the ones who tricked him into signing the law, the ones who had laughed when Daniel was sentenced. "Throw them into the den," he ordered. And before their bodies even reached the floor, the lions pounced. Their fury was unleashed. Bones were crushed before they touched the ground. Justice had spoken. Darius, shaken and changed, issued a new decree. "To all peoples, nations, and languages under heaven," he wrote, "I make this declaration. The God of Daniel is the living God. He endures forever. His kingdom will not be destroyed. His dominion has no end. He rescues and he saves. He performs signs and wonders in the heavens and on earth. He has rescued Daniel from the power of the lions. And Daniel, he prospered in the kingdom of Darius. And even under Cyrus the Persian, who would follow, Daniel remained honored. His wisdom continued. His faith endured. He had faced empires. He had interpreted dreams and read the writing of God. He had stood in flames of politics and pride and survived the den of death, all because he trusted his God. Daniel never sought power. He never fought with sword or pride. He simply prayed, obeyed, and trusted. And in doing so, he stunned a king, silenced the enemy, and wrote his name forever into the story of faith.